Okay, you guys, we're gonna try this again. I just did a live this morning, so I should not be having these difficulties. Although my phone did do an update, so, and I did not turn it off after that. So that might be it. I might need to just restart my phone and start over again from there. But let's see what I look like on here. Okay, I guess we can go with this. It's not how I normally do it, but it is so you can read it and see it. So that is a good thing. So we are going to be using the Fragrant Flowers. This is Create with Chris Live. It is my Facebook online class, and it happens the second Thursday of every month. When you place a minimum $35 order for this class, you will get card kits to make these cards. So this month we're using these Fragrant Flowers, the stamp set, and the dies. Some of these dies are missing because I'm going to be using them tonight. And we're also going to be using the Elegant Faceted Gems. And these are just beautiful. There's a clear one, a white one, and a kind of almost rose-colored one. And they have just like little tiny, almost like a weave pattern to them, if you can see that. So they're very, very shimmery and shiny. And we are also going to be using these little dragonfly trinkets. I don't know if you noticed these in the mini catalog, but they are so adorable. They have like little ridges on them. So cute. Absolutely love them. And then we're going to be using the celebration paper that coordinated with this stamp set. So you have these beautiful flowers in coral and blushing bride and fresh freesia and blackberry bliss, some evening evergreen in there. Absolutely just gorgeous. This paper is just kind of breathtaking, I think. And it was free during celebration. If you didn't get any then, or you don't have any left, when you do place your class order, you will get some of it to finish your cards with. So tonight we are going to make 4 cards, and these cards were designed by my downline, Mariel, and Mariel is just super talented. And every once in a while, I'd like to have someone else design some cards so that my customers and my downline, anybody who's taking my classes, get a little bit more of a variety of stampers and techniques and the way people do things. We're also going to be using, these are the Fabulous Frames dies, and we cut some corners out using this die. And this is the Basic Borders dies, and we're going to be using this kind of zigzag die. And then we have the Designer Tags dies, and we're going to be using one of these on one of our cards too. So we have some really great products that we're going to be using to make some really beautiful cards with you. So I'm going to start off with this beautiful book fold card, and it's like a book binding over here and folds like that, which I think is just super cool. Okay, and your measurements for this one are, I'm going to take my pieces out of my little envelope here. We have our Designer Series paper, and then we have some Calypso coral. And we've cut these little kind of fawns, maybe, from the coordinating die cuts. And then we have our card base. Okay. So we'll get started with this card. And this piece of paper is 11 by 4 1/4. Okay. And we've scored the 11-inch side at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So I'm just going to fold it and burnish it on those score lines in a zigzag fold. So I'm going to fold it on my, burnish it on my 5.5 line, and then I'm going to flip it back. That's the zigzag part of the fold, and burnish it there. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece of a Calypso Coral cardstock, and I'm going to set that right aside for now. And this, my designer series paper. In my designer series paper, I have two pieces of it. One is scored at 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So it's a square, which is going to fit right on top of my 4x4 Calypso Coral piece. And then I have a Calypso Coral piece that is 4x1. And I have a designer piece that is 3 7/8 by 7/8. And I'm just gonna kind of match these up. I did cut them from the same piece of paper, so see how they're just gonna match up, not like that. Like that. Wow. Like this. This is a square, so it really shouldn't be that hard, right? Apparently tonight I am going to be making everything as difficult as I can. Okay, so you can see they match up like this. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Seal here. And this is just my regular Stampin' Seal. And let's see if I can get it to move with me tonight. And I'm going to line them up one more time because there we go. And you're just going to get that little tiny Calypso Coral edge around there. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to put down my other piece of designer series paper on this little 1-inch fold. Again, making sure I have them lined up because apparently tonight it's going to be a night I have to conquer. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive and run it here. Sometimes when I'm doing a book fold, I'll cover that with a ribbon and then put it down after I get the ribbon on it. But I'm not using ribbon, so I'm going to just put my regular snail or Stampin' Seal on here. And I'm going to check myself the whole time, you guys. And this is just really a kind of quick and easy card pattern to do. And you can make it go vertically or horizontally. And this is a great pack of paper for it because it you can kind of highlight the paper, the designer series paper, which is so, so beautiful. And then I've cut out just kind of like a little scrap piece of the paper. And I am going to stamp the word thanks in black on it, my Memento black. And I actually, I'm going to use, just the way my night is going, I'm going to use my Stamparatus for this. Just because I want to have as many chances as I can of getting it right on this paper. And it's kind of a solid stamp. So I'm just going to take my designer series paper and plop it right onto my Stamparatus. And then I'm going to peel my words off my black here. I'm going to put those, I'm going to put them right down here because I am going to cut this out with a die. So I just want to make sure I have enough room down here to get my die. There we go, we do. That die is just popping around because of the magnets there. And I'm not even going to worry so much about it being straight on there because I am going to use my die. But I want to be sure I get a really bold, crisp image with it. So that's why I'm using this, the Stamparatus. And when I'm doing a solid image, so you can see how it's not really crisp and bold. It's kind of got some little spots in it, and some of that is because it's designer series paper, and some of it is just because it is more of a solid stamp. So I'm gonna go back in, just gonna use my snail over here, and I'm just gonna ink up my stamp again and come back down. And because I'm using my Stamparatus, I can have as many chances as I need to get this image as crisp as I want it. And you can see it's kind of, on this side here, it's getting that nice kind of crisp black look to it. So I'm gonna go in probably 2 more times. And I just am kind of, I really want it crisp and bright because it's going to go against this solid kind of black background. So I want it to be really, really dark. Okay, and I am going in one more time. All right, and this should be enough. There we go. See how crisp and nice that image is? I like it. So I'm going to take this off. And I would normally leave that on there, but I'm taking it off because we are going to use another stamp in here a little bit later. So I'm going to move this out. And let's bring in our little mini die cut machine. No, I'm in love with this little baby. So I'm going to put my words on there. And again, I'm going to line these plates up like they're an E. Okay, like a big capital E. So they're not going to be straight here. You're going to have one that's out about 1/8 of an inch, and this one's going to go in 1/8 of an inch, and that one out 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, just so they're kind of beveled there. I'm going to put it on there, and then I'm going to take my little die cut and put it right on there. And this is one of the things that Stampin' Up! Excels at. Everything coordinates and fits, and just this die comes with that stamp set and is meant to fit that particular stamp, which I think gives it a really nice professional kind of look to it. And it saves me lots of work trimming it and finding the perfect die and all of that good stuff. So there we go. Now I'm going to take my words and put them up on some dimensionals. And with this pack of paper, you are gonna have to be careful about which particular design you use, because you want a design that is nice and light so you can see through it. And see how crisp and nice my words got by just continuing to use my Stamparatus. And you can also fill them in with your black Stampin' Right marker if you want. I'm just going to put this right here. Oh, I think I even managed to get it straight. And then I'm going to put a glue dot on the top of this part. Okay, and I'm going to put it on the top of it so I can stick it right under my words. Just kind of tuck it in there. All right. And you can use your take your pick tool for this if you want, but I'm just going to tuck it right in there like that at the end there. And then I'm going to bring in some of these gorgeous gems. And I think I'm going to use these kind of more, I don't know, I kind of really like this one. So let's try this one. Oh yeah, I like that color. It's kind of like an opaque color. And I'm just gonna pop 2 or 3 of them around my card. I guess I'm gonna do 3 of them. Okay, so there's your book binding card. I'm just gonna open like this. And you can always take an extra piece of your designer series paper and put it right down at the bottom here if you'd like to. Okay, so that is card number 1. And let's do this one with the border die. That's gonna be a fun one to do. We'll get some ink and we'll get some stamps and we'll get some direction. We're gonna get all the goodies, right? Okay, so actually at class you get 2 of everything, so I'm just gonna sort out one of them and put one back in here. And that way I'm not gonna get confused about all the pieces I have and why I have them. This is the piece we use that little zigzag border for. Very cute, right? And then some little pieces we die cut to put our sayings on, okay? So again, I am going to, I think, use my stamp apparatus for this one. Let's pull it back up here. And again, I'm doing that just because this is a more solid stamp, okay? And I want to be sure it's going to go right on my, there. So I'm going to just kind of set my magnets up there. And I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape to tape my words on the ends. And that's going to kind of hold it in place. Okay? Then I am going to take my Hello stamp and peel it off my block. And I'm going to put hello right in the middle there. And I think that's going to be, this piece is looking really small to me, but let's try it. And if it's not working, I can get a piece of scrap paper and then cut it when I'm done. So let's, I think I want it more that way. I think I want it more over here. Okay, let's try this. And again, if it doesn't work, I'll get a bigger piece of scrap paper. In fact, that one might work well for it. So we'll find something if it doesn't work. Where there's a will, there's a way. I would normally be using a Stampin' Spot for this, but I really hadn't planned on doing it this way. So let's see how well we can get that on there. Oh, I think I can live with that. I'm going to trim the top of it just a little bit. So I'll ink it up one more time. And when you use an ink spot, you don't get all this ink up in here. It's a lot easier to control with an ink spot. Okay, so let's just peel this off here. And again, I'm going to pop my words off. I am going to use my stamp apparatus again. I actually plan to use it for one thing, but I'm going to, I just like it, I feel a little bit safer when I'm using my stamp apparatus for those solid images like that. So And it just takes a second, especially when you have your Stamparatus out and ready to go. And my Stamparatus is always on my table. So, and I stamped a little close to the bottom, so I'm just going to bring in my paper snips. And I am going to cut it right across at the top. Just give it a little trim down. Okay. And then let's see how this is going to work. This one we're going to do, we're going to stamp the word friend on it with some Memento ink. So I'm just going to do a quick tap, and then I'm going to bring my paper in. And again, I try and line my paper up so it's straight with my grid paper. If you guys have not used our grid paper, you are definitely missing out. It really helps me to get not only my words straight, but my images straight, but also when I'm taping things and assembling my cards, it's much easier to get things straight that way. Okay, so we have, we'll set these things aside, a piece of Calypso Coral, which is 8.5 by 5.5. The 8.5 inch side is scored at 4 1/4, so I'm just gonna fold it, bring in my bone folder, and burnish it on that score line, okay? And I also have a piece of Designer Series paper that is 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches, okay? And I am gonna put this little trim piece, I'm gonna tape it right to the back up here, okay? So I'm gonna do that just with some regular old Stampin' Seal. And I'm just gonna put a little piece of it along there. And then line this up with it. I want to make sure I'm straight down here. And I want to leave a good portion of this, I think it's Blushing Bride, showing in here, because I'm going to add some fresh freesia ribbon to it. So I want a lot of this in here and just a smaller portion on the showing, okay? Then I'm just going to take a piece of this fresh freesia ribbon and cut it. And I'm going to attach that to the back, okay? So, wow, Chris, that went flying. So I'm just going to put adhesive around this piece. And I'm going to put some in here too, okay? And then this piece is just going to go like this. And it's going to come around here. Okay, so it's going to look like this on your edge. So you're going to have just a little portion of that sticking out. And I'm going to put that over there, and I'm just going to trim off that little excess part there. And put a little bit of extra tape there. And that is going to go on the front of my card. So you want to be sure that you get your ribbon on there before you put it on your card. Okay? Isn't that pretty? I love that look of that going right over top of the other one. And then I'm going to, because you can see that ribbon, you can see right through it, and I think that's so pretty. And I'm going to add these two with some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of them. Give them a little pop. I'm going to actually use just a little row of this one from my edges. You want to use as much of those dimensionals as you can. So don't ever throw away that little border piece that goes around them. Okay. I'm going to peel my back off and put this in here. You can see how gorgeous this paper is. It just really, you don't even want to cover any of it. It's so, so pretty. And the colors are so vibrant. So we're just going to do Hello Friend. Does it remind you of that song? Hello darkness, my old friend. Okay, I do not sing, but that one just kind of snuck up on me there, right? So I'm going to add some of these clear. I actually think I'm going to add some white ones. It's kind of weird when a song just sneaks up on you like that. I have a friend, Laura, that she knows every single song and who sings it, and they sneak up on her a lot. I must have been channeling her energy. Okay, so I'm going to add 3 of these. I think I'll do like that there. And then I'm also going to bring in one of these little ladybugs, dragonflies. And I'm going to actually go back. I'll finish this one before I go back. Getting a little ahead of myself here. So I'm just going to place a glue dot right on the back of this little dragonfly and kind of put it right in there. How fun is that, you guys? Do you love it? Mariel did an amazing job at designing these cards. She is super, super talented. And I love it when she helps me out like that. So this is hers. And you can see she has even more of that Blushing Bride showing over here. And she used just one clear, elegant faceted gem. So I swapped that out for the white ones and then added a little dragonfly. So you can see, you guys, you can turn these cards. Just a little bit of a tweak will really make that card your own. And it can just be something as simple as the color that you stamp in that makes a big change in it. So I'm going to come back in and add one more of these dragonflies. These dragonflies are really light, so they're not going to add a lot of weight to your card, but they are going to kind of add a lot of kind of oomph to it, if you will. So I'm just going to kind of put that one, yeah, I don't really like that one so much there. Let's see if I can get it up. I'm going to put it up in here. There we go. Okay, and let's see what we have on tap for our third card. This one we're going to actually bring in the Stamparatus and do what I was meaning to do the very first time around, right? If you guys don't use your Stamparatus, you need to start, because as far as getting a good crisp image, it's very, very important. And when you have a big image like this, it's easy to miss the inside part of your stamp. So I did a Stamparatus class last month and showed lots of different techniques to use with it. So especially those guys that came to the class, I hope you are using yours on a regular basis. Okay, so we have our card base. We have our DSP. We have a piece to go on top of it that we're going to emboss. Let's check out these leaves. I think I want 2 leaves. One big one and one little one. And I want this kind of a fond piece. And then I want 4 corners. Those are the corners that we cut out with the dies. And I think that's all we need, okay? There we go. And I'm going to bring in my big shot, the big one, and we're going to emboss this piece. We're going to do that first, okay? So I have my big cut and emboss machine. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to use the Time Worn embossing folder, and I'm going to pop that right in there. And when you're putting your embossing folder through, I'm going to use my base, my number 2 plate, my embossing folder, which always your embossing folders go in hinge first, and then my gray plate, which is, I believe, a number 4 plate. And, oops, I don't need this number 2. So I'm going to go with my base plate, my embossing folder, and my gray plate. There we go. That's the sandwich we wanted. All right. And we'll get rid of that. And you can see it gives you this really kind of, it does look kind of time worn and typed on. I'm going to grab a piece of white paper. Not sure how I missed that in my little card packet, but let's see if this one will fit. Yes. Okay. So, I'm getting quite a stack on the floor here. All right, so I'm going to stamp this in Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to put my piece of basic white cardstock on here. Hold it with my magnets. Let's get this stamp a little more in the center. There we go. And where is my ink pad? Okay. And I do have, you can't see it, but over here, let me move it so you can see for a minute. I'm just using my Stampin' Seal there. You can use an ink pad here, an empty stamp case. You just want something that's going to give you a little more stability when you go to ink your stamp, okay? So we'll just ink it up. All right, that looks like it's good and inked up. Good and juicified, as we say, right? And let's make sure, oh yeah, that's a nice, crisp, clean image. Okay. I'm glad I got it right in the middle like that. Okay, so let's take that off. I'm gonna put you up here. You actually have some storage spots on the bottom of your Stamparatus for your magnets, but I kind of store mine in the tray there. All right, and now we are going to cut this one out using our die. So I'm going to come in and find that really big die in here. And I'm going to use that. Let's see if I can get that through my mini. No, it's too big to go through the mini. So let's get the big one back up here. And I'm going to grab my other plates for it. All right. So this one, I'm going to go with my base, my number 2, and 2 number 3s. So I'm going to go base and number 2. Here's my leaf. One of my corners fell. Okay, this is just... Okay, so I have my number 2. I'm going to do a clear plate. I'm going to do my piece of cardstock that's stamped with my image, and that right on top of it. So I've got it all lined up so you can see what's happening there. And I actually am going to put a piece of washi tape on there so you can, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't move. And you can do a washi tape, you can do a post-it tape, you can do a post-it note, whatever you have handy that you want to put on there so it's not flapping all over the place. I'm just going to stick that under there. Hold on to the top. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to come back. I'm going to bring all of our lovely pieces in here. And this is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base. We scored the 11 inch side at 5 1/2. I'm just going to burnish it, fold it and burnish it there. And then this piece of paper is cut at 5 3 3/4. And I'm just going to put that down with some regular Stampin' Seal. Right in the middle there. There we go. Nice and straight. And then I'm going to add this piece of fresh freesia cardstock there. I'm going to put that on just to flat with my Stampin' Seal. That's the piece that we embossed. Okay, you do have words on here, so I'm just kind of making sure my words are going in the right direction. And this is the right direction for them. Okay, and then I am going to put some adhesive. I'm sorry, I'm going to use a glue dot. I think that's what I'm going to do, is a glue dot. And I'm going to put it on the top of it so that I can adhere it to the back of my image, because I am going to put my flowers on with some dimensionals. So I'm going to put this right in here, I think. Okay, and then I'm going to take my 2 flowers and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a glue dot on the top of the image at the bottom. So you can see my little glue dot right there. And I'm going to do that on both of them. Whoops. Okay, and let's see. That's going to go there. I'm going to put these, I think, down in here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it just like that, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and pop some dimensionals around it, and I'm even going to pop some dimensionals on the die cuts so that they'll be sure to hold nice and tight there. And I'm going to go ahead and use quite a few because I don't want my image to start sagging in the middle. Now you can, if you want to, you can color this image. You can use some Wink of Stella on it. If you don't like it that way, I'm going to pop one of these right in the middle too. So if you think it needs a little more color to it, feel free to go ahead and add some color. I kind of like that white with it. I think it makes the little corners, the white corners that we're going to put on, really kind of pop and support it. So now I'm just getting the backs of my dimensionals taped to the other dimensionals. We are just having some fun tonight, you guys. All right. Okay. I thank everybody for bearing with me when I was trying to get on here. That was just, I haven't had a rough time like that in a very long time popping on. So, there we go. I like that. Okay, and then we have these corners that we cut with those die cuts, the picture die cuts. 1, 2, 3. And here is 4 over here. And I'm going to put those on with dimensionals. And I could use the foam adhesive strips, but I think I'm going to use just 1 dimensional right in the middle, as opposed to 2 of those strips on either side. But you decide what you're comfortable with. If you like the foam adhesive strips, they will work here without a problem. Wow, I dropped that in something. That's kind of a mess. Let me see if I can get my adhesive remover in here and clean it up. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure what I dropped it in, but all clean now. So these are just going to be our corners. And that's going to make this look like a really pretty picture, I think. So we're going to put those in all 4 corners. And I kind of have to lift this up because I'm just putting it right at that edge. So it's going to line up perfectly there. I might have wanted to put these on before I put my flower down. Let's see if I can move that flower around. No. Okay, so there it is. And I'm going to take a little piece of ribbon. And I'm going to cut it about here. And then I'm going to cut right up the middle of it. So I'm just going to cut in between my 2 edges. And this is going to give it kind of a frayed, sort of shabby chic kind of look to it. It doesn't matter that it's not straight or even, because we want it to have kind of a different feel to it. And I am going to just put glue dots right in the middle of these 2 pieces. And I'm going to fold it over. And I'm going to put one on the other side. So I have my ribbon, it's cut in half and then folded in half with a glue dot on both sides. And this one I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Use just my little pointy end. Got my spatula on there. I was doing something with my pastels. And so I had my little spatula out. So I'm going to put that right on my little Take Your Pick tool. And I think I'm going to go down here and just kind of stuff it up in there. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to fold it in half and put a glue dot on it, holding it tight. Then I'm going to flip it over and put a glue dot on the other side. There we go. And then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and put it on there. Just kind of lift that up a little bit and stick that under there. Okay, so then you have these kind of 4 really nice pieces kind of fanned out there. looking a little shabby chic, right? And I'm gonna bring my scissors in and just trim them. I'm gonna trim them kind of all a different length. So one's gonna be a little bit shorter, one will be a little bit longer. And that is, again, gonna give it a little bit more dimension and texture to it. Boy, these scissors they need a sharpening, right? Okay, there we go. And let's bring in some gems. And I haven't used these clear ones yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and use those. There we go. And I kind of like the look of the little one and the big one together. And I'm gonna put a big one up here. And I think I may, undecided, but I may add one of these little dragonflies. Kind of right in there, maybe not. I don't know that with it being white like that, I kind of want it to pop. So rather than color it or add anything else, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, and here's Mariel's. She did her ribbon up at the top in the same way though. Okay. And we have one more, and this one's kind of a fun one. It's like a little peekaboo card. So let's get all of our goodies for that one up here. I'm gonna just take a minute to clean up and organize myself. Let me see if I can actually pop down a little bit, see who is here with me, if anybody is here with me. With all of the difficulty I had getting on, I will be surprised. Cindy's here, Sherry's here. Oh, here's Sherry. I love the Stamparatus class, and I'm so glad that you're here. Oh, and Denise too. I hope you guys are really using your Stamparatus. And tonight you saw how I'm using mine, right? Denise said she used hers with her paper pumpkin this month, and used her paper pumpkin as the stencil, the part that she punched out, and she said it worked great. So there's another little tip for your Stamparatus use. Okay, so this is our last one. And let's get our pieces out of here. Okay, so we have a little one we're going to stamp love on. Look at that. That's going to be a trick, right? We have that little tag that we die cut. And we have a little piece for our flower. And then our thick basic cardstock. So our thick basic cardstock is cut 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4 and burnish it. Okay, and then I am going to stick this piece of paper down, but I am only going to put tape on this side, and half of this side. So I have down the left folded edge of the card, across the bottom, and halfway up the right side of the card. Okay, so there's my left side, there's the bottom, and there's about halfway up the top. And let's plop that on there, and I use my regular Stampin' Seal for that. There we go. And I'm just a hair off here. Let me see if I can straighten that out a bit for you. There we go. Much straighter. Okay. Now I'm just going to take this piece from that corner and fold it down. So I'm just going to kind of put my fingernail up there in the corner and fold it down this way. Okay? And then give it a nice crease with my bone folder. And if you wanted to do that and give it a score line, you definitely could. Okay, and I'm almost to my edge here, so I am just going to stuff a little glue dot down there. I almost made it perfectly with my Stampin' Seal there, but I do want to be sure that it's nice and tight. So I'm just gonna pull it back, stick my glue dot there, and down we go. And I should have stamped it first. Oh, doggone. I wonder, let's see if I can. No, I'm not even gonna try it, okay? So I'm gonna take my fresh freesia, and when you're doing this at home, you definitely wanna stamp this part first. But I did not, so I am going to stamp it now, and I'll do a little bit of masking there, okay? I'm left-handed, so I'm going to start stamping off the top edge a little bit, and then I'm going to come down. I'm going to go up again, and then down. So you can see it's just kind of a random stamping of these words here. And let me grab a little post-it note here. And if you had stamped first, you wouldn't have to do this, but because I kind of did it backwards, I'm just going to add this here. So when I stamp, I'm not going to get any ink onto that gorgeous designer series paper that we have there. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of come in and do this all the way across my card. Okay. There we go. So you have kind of a little peekaboo background here. And then we're going to take, I'm just going to kind of wishy-washy wash that off just because I'm going to stamp it in the Blackberry Bliss, and it won't need to be so, because my ink is darker, it won't make a difference if it's really spotless clean or not. And this was cut with the little tag right there. That's how we got that piece there. So I'm going to see if I can, I don't think my chances are very good of getting this on there, but let's try it. They were not very good of getting it on there. Let's try it again. Oh, perfect. I can live with that one. I think that will work, okay? And now I'm going to take my Memento ink and I'm going to stamp my flower onto this scrap piece of paper here. So let's see. I have all of my stuff extremely organized over here, except for my black Memento ink. And I know I used it, so I know it's here. I have been so proud of myself for being so organized and having everything that I need, and I just got done using it. Okay, I'm going to grab another one so that you don't have to spend the rest of the night watching me look for it, or listening to me look for it. That is, well, you guys all know how that goes, right? Stampers know that we lose things. And as soon as I grab a new one, of course I'll find it, but whatever, right? Okay, so this little flower also comes in that stamp set. So I'm going to stamp that on my piece of scrap paper here. Make sure I get a really good image. And then I'm going to bring in my fresh freesia, my Blackberry Bliss Light Blend and my Light Evening Evergreen Blend. And I am just going to quickly color my flower while I'm coloring, I will tell you guys I have some classes coming up. I am celebrating my 20-year stamp anniversary all this week. So I'll post a host code that you can use when you place your class order. And when it reaches $45, I will send you a goodie bag valued at a minimum of $20. So you'll get like a 50% freebie with your order just for helping me celebrate my 20-year anniversary. I have a Stampapalooza coming up on April 15th, which is Tax Day, and we all need something fun to do on Tax Day besides taxes, right? So that's coming up. But for that, I have a blending brush class, and you can take that on March 21st or on March 31st. So you get to pick the day that works best for you and the time. March 31st, it's 7 to 9, which is a Friday night. And Tuesday, which is the 21st, is 1 to 3. So you can pick the day and time that works best for you. The class is $40. You get a $30 goodie bag. So your goodie bag's going to have some things in it that you'll use at class, like some blending brushes. We're going to use a thumping technique. We're going to use some stencils. We are going to have a whole lot of fun. So I'm coloring with this, and then I'm just going back in and adding some little lines for some shading on it. Okay. And then, where's my little baby? My little baby emboss and stamp and cut and there we go. Okay, so I am going to cut this little guy out now that I've got it all colored. And this one again uses my base plate, a clear plate, my image, and another clear plate on top. And we are going to put them in staggered. I got my machine turned around. So let's see if I can do it from this side. I cannot. All right, let's try it like this. There we go. I'm going to put my hand up here and give it a little bit of there. All right. And perfect. I like it when a plan comes together like that, you guys. And then we have this little tag, and we're going to emboss it. So let me grab my gray plate for this one. I like these little dies that just emboss. I think they're so cute, and they add so much texture to a piece. Okay, so we are going to do our gray plate. Let's see if that's how that works. We're going to start with our number 1 plate, which is our base plate. And we're going to put our little tag on there. And we're going to add the embossing part. I think I'm going to add it this way because our flower can then go up there. And then I'm going to add my number 3 plate. I need one more plate in here. Okay, so we're going to do our white plate, our number 2 plate, our little embossing piece, and a number 3 plate on top and staggered. I didn't need to go get my gray plate after all, did I? Okay. Sometimes it's a guessing game with me and my little stacks of goodies. Okay. So you can see how that embossed it. Isn't that fun? It looks almost like little tiny flowers in there almost. So I am going to add my little flower with some dimensionals. And I'm going to put lots of dimensionals on this bad boy. There we go. Okay, come on. And I'm going to go kind of down in here. And I'm going to bring in my circle punch, which I didn't bring over here with me. So I'm going to just use my little take your pick tool. For some reason, I thought this punched out with the die. Okay, so I made my own hole. And that works. I'm looking for my little love. And I'm going to add my love on a dimensional also. And I'm going to cut one of these edge pieces like that. That little tiny, that skinny part of my edge there. I'm just going to use that on the back of this piece over here. There we go. And I'm going to put that on like that. Okay, I'm going to take the back of it off so it's sticky and put it on like that. Okay, and then where's my freesia ribbon? I'm going to cut a little piece of that and put it through there. Now, I will be back the second Tuesday of next month, April, and we will make 4 more cards during Create with Chris Live, which is my monthly online class. Let's see if I cut that at an angle, if I can get it through there. And if you want to join my creativity club, it is a subscription club, and we meet on the last Monday of each month to put 8 cards together. We do 2 each of 4 different designs. I charge your charge card on the first of each month, either $30 if you do a porch pickup, or $39 if you need it mailed to you. And you will get a half a pack of designer series paper, a bolt of ribbon, and I'm going to do these one at a time. A bolt of ribbon and a full accessory. You will get a tutorial emailed to you. And all of your die cutting is done. You do have to cut your own designer series paper and also do your own stamping. Okay, so this is just going to tuck in right there. I think that is so fun. And I'm going to add, of course, some gems. And I'm going to do the white ones again. Do there. And up here. Okay, let's get that one on there. And again, I'm going to do a little one with that. There it is. Sometimes they just have a mind of their own. Okay, and I think I'm going to add one right on here too. I may do this kind of, it looks almost like a peachy color, but I think it's going to really make that flower kind of pop. There we go. Okay. So that is kind of a little tag that you can pull out. There, kind of a little peekaboo. Really cute. Okay, you guys, thanks for joining me. We did lots of really cute cards tonight, I think. And I hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget, I'll put a link up there for you to place your order with, and you will get these card kits. So there's that one, and then this one, and these two, and these two. So thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for bearing with me at the beginning. Hopefully I'll get this camera situation figured out. Hi, Anna. Thanks for watching. Mariel's here. Mariel, I was having lots of fun sharing the cards that you designed for our club this month. I can't thank you enough. They are all so, so beautiful. Sherry loves club. Debbie, I'm so glad that you found me. You guys, thank you so much. I love when my downline is all here to support me and cheer me on. You guys are the best. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.